tribe of Shabazz was taught to us through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a people that were in Africa. You understand me? And those people, in short, were the people that had been taken from the motherland, but also some of those people, a very powerful people, were some of the disobedient tribe. You understand me? That were in the wilderness and were in the jungle, which caused a hair and the features to develop in a certain function, in a certain manner. And for those who wish to study more into that, they can study what is the tribe of Shabazz. But for the point of this particular conversation, I want to stay on the domain of the mind, because the domain of the mind is what I want people to have the ability to start using. Because once we implant the vision and you ask everybody around here what their vision is, the question is, how do you bring it into reality? Now, it also has to qualify what is man. And I was taught that man equals mind. Because somebody say, well, how can you call yourself God? Well, I can prove it. Because I can take things that is inside my head, inside my mind, and I can bring them into reality. And is that not a characteristic and or an act of God or Godhood? Never said I originated and created the stars and I birthed you and brought you into reality. But if that is my father and I am his son, then am I not a reflection of my father? Yeah. So I want to also ask you all, because there's things called the manosphere, the red pill, the incel. There's all of these things where young males today are trying to figure out how to fully become formed and to develop their minds today. You know, we start off as small little particles. We start off as just a thought. And as a thought, we just a frequency. You understand me? Matter of fact, we just a signal transformed into a frequency, produced into a little sperm, swim into an egg. We get a little spine, we start to grow our heart, our limbs, we get a body, and that development prepares us for the reality that we in today. And we start off as masters of the universe. And then we have to become students of the world. As a master of the universe, we deal with time as now and next. That's how a baby thinks of time, now and next. A baby doesn't know rules, because rules are created by man to establish order based on authority and power, how he wants his civilization, right, and or society to be done. So the younger generation is always the shifters in the paradigm, right? Because they're always going to fight against the order, because it's not a natural order, right? So the child is going to ask why. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this? And society labels that as rebellious. So then society goes and indoctrinates to castrate the rebellious spark so that you can now be a productive citizen. So your mind has to be molded and shaped into the shape of whatever society is so that you can fit. So now you're no longer a master of the universe where your imagination and your vision is always working. Your creativity is always questioning things. You're always asking why, but the why is the power of pure reason and logic, right? And so once we start to lose that ability of creativity and creative capacity, then we always have to ask somebody, how do you use things? How is this done? Giving them the opportunity to enslave you with their ways. Even school and teaching robs us of our ability to become creative learners, because they teach you how to become technical thinkers. Do things as they are. But a child has this ability to only think of things as being it is. And being it is this word where we are thinking of time in the now at all times. Oh man, this future gonna be mine. Tomorrow gonna be mine. I'm up next. You understand me? This is my year. This is my month. This is my second. That's not what God created. He didn't create the calendar. That was the Pope. Put us in seconds and minutes and hours and days and years and decades and centuries. And they did that because they wanted to establish rulership over time. So instead of I'm just taking territory and look, this state is mine, this country is mine. No, this time is mine. I need everybody, forget Ethiopian, they go off a 13-month calendar. They add into the cycle of the woman that deals with the cosmic balance of the universe between masculine and the feminine and divine. That's not their time. Their time is only based on white patriarchal intellect. So growing up as a black man in America, when we look around and it doesn't look like it's our time, which means that these are not the moves that we made. This doesn't represent our consciousness. This don't represent our emotion. This doesn't represent our intellect. Now we feel like boys because nothing around us we've managed to produce. So this generation is now trying to figure out, how do I become the man, right? And the man, and I'm gonna open it up, the man is the one who controls the time and the language and the institutions and the power, right? So if you tell me to be a man and I look around and say, well, damn, the man rules this. How can I be a man if I can't be the man? And the black man wants to be the man. The brown man wants to be the man. The white man walks around like he is the man, specifically because when he look around, he say, well, I own this all. You go off every structural rule and institution that I created. Why are you mad at me? So now we say, you know what? We're not angry. Thank you. Hindsight is 20/20, and I see it very clear. You gave me a vision on how I can create my own world, because we are now dealing with the end of times, the end of someone else's mind, motion, and intellect ruling over us. When I think about ancestors, right, and you know, walking as a man with that confidence, first of all, when you do any good deed, you know, in the universe, in the world, you know, you are giving honor to your ancestors. When you got any vision that you execute upon anything into reality, you're giving honor to your ancestors, because what you're doing is honoring that electricity, that blood, that information that you come from, that pain, that struggle, that greatness that you come from. Because our ancestors, just in America, you know, have been through unimaginable treatment, but they also have been through warfare. You look at John Horse, you look at Marcus Garvey, you look at Huey P. Newton, right? You look at, you know, Madam C.J. Walker to Harriet Tubman. What I'm naming is ancestors who were showing us different things, and they laid out foundation and blueprint, and they can say, man, I found you at your lowest point, and I showed you how to get to your highest. What did you do with the sacrifice? What did you do with the blueprint? What did you do with the knowledge? Because it's not enough to honor if you don't make it your goal to stand on this side or go further. Because if they've shown you a world record, listen, man, hey, I done went this far, now it shows you the blueprint how to go further. So it's disrespectful to say that you follow or you honor or you move as an ancestor's move, but we haven't built something more incredible than our ancestors have built. So if they have the ability to tap into knowledge and build foundation, they built religion, they built science, they built time, they built business, they made billions, they built planes, they created organizations and nations. What are we doing? You understand me? Like Mr. Farrakhan say, God's time. And it's the same token, what are we doing with our ancestors' time? Because every sacrifice that they made produced us. This generation right here. And we get to be the greatest generation that makes, you know, our ancestors smile. And when I talk about ancestors, I'm talking about my DNA. You understand me? My DNA. Because everything that comes from the tree of my family is in me. You understand me? Every story, everything they observed, every wisdom, every tragedy, every victory, all of that's in me. So I can't be walking around like I don't come from the greatest stock of the universe. You know what I'm talking about? I gotta walk around like I already know who I am. And I know some of the ancestors were some suckers. See, that's the part where you gotta realize the duality of things that you beat. So you don't deal with the ancestor that was jealous, the ancestor that was egotistical, the ancestor that was weak, the ancestor that was sadistic, you understand me? The ancestor that was a buster and a liar and a murderer of his people. No, those are the things within yourself that you have to fight to destroy so you can honor the best parts of yourself. You understand me? So, you know, that thought just generated that, so I resonate with that.
But our biggest problem has been our teacher. That's our problem.
Yes, sir.
We've been taught to be other than ourselves. When a man got to come up to you and ask you in 2022, how do I become a man? That should be built into your nature. You should not even have to ask that question. You have a form of intelligence that's already built in from the sperm. It knows where to go. Not having even heard your voice. It's not told how to travel up the fallopian tube, attached to the egg. That is the mind of a man that you be witnessing. But when you take the knowledge of self and take and reduce a human being down to nothing, and you can constantly hear that you're nothing, and we call ourselves niggas today. We have no ownership, so we take on no responsibility. When the family, when the head, or the God of the family is taken out the family and left in the hands of the mother. And she hasn't been properly educated because the man is missing. Man sees things that woman don't see, and vice versa. We watch our mothers, we become highly emotional because that's her nature. That's why you can talk to a woman and sometimes, oh, that's the way you feel. No, that ain't the way, that's the way I think. Sister, I don't feel like that. When we make emotional decisions, most of the time, it's based on emotion, it's not based on a masculine energy. Just like I always used to give the analysis to the fruit. If we on an island with my woman and my child, and there's no food but that one piece of meat, who's supposed to eat it? I would ask the fruit. And most of the brothers would say, I'm gonna give that to my baby and my woman. Well, by saying for all Muhammad, I'm gonna eat that meat.
Yep.
And y'all sitting there nodding that, damn, bro, you gonna eat, you damn right I'm gonna eat that meat. Why? Because I'm the hunter. I got to go out into that jungle. I got to go out and hunt down that animal and bring back that big piece of meat. You understand? If I'm too weak, everybody gonna die. That's masculine decision. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes the man is not very popular at all in his own house. Because you have to make decisions that everybody will not agree with. That's masculine. We should provide our own world now. That's masculine. We should be willing to take on all responsibility. That's masculine. And we should do this. When you give your word as a man, your word should be bond. If my word should fail, and I should be willing to give my life, that's masculine. But we got too much, and I don't like to use the word feminine all the time because it looks like you're disparaging the woman, and that's not what I'm doing. But we have too many men that's taking on that feminine characteristic, and our woman is taking on the masculine characteristic because they have educated her over the black man on purpose. She makes more money than most brothers in this society. So you, the brother that's sitting at home with the PlayStation or changing diapers all day, and your woman get home, how come the dishes ain't washed? You ain't even took out the garbage. You understand what I'm saying? But you trying to call the shot based on your strength. That's feminine. You understand? We should want power. Black men in America don't even talk about power or control. We talk about entertainment, sport and play. And I can't even sit down with a brother You understand what I'm trying to say? And let's talk about power, how we can formulate and have a conversation, how we can change our condition. Brother, I don't want to hear about when you used to be no pimp. You understand, back, brother? That don't interest me, showing me pictures. You understand what I'm saying? How you was in the military, in the Marines, fighting for your open enemy, and you tell me he's too powerful to be defeated. You understand what I'm saying? That's not masculine at all. We on the takeover mode. Men should be thinking on how we can take our planet back, so says the most honorable Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad. That's masculine. Well, we drop our children into the deaf houses of America, calling themselves schools. And our children come home talking about they want to be a girl or feminine. You understand what I'm saying? That's not masculine at all, brothers and sisters. Man was made a degree higher than his woman. We say that degree is based on strength. No, it's really not. It's about our deeds and our action. Allah say do what? He say do good. The original man, the life giver and sustainer, we should be doing all the good that we possibly can on our planet. That's masculine. But we doing devilish deeds all over the planet Earth. We murdering and maiming and taking on the same characteristics that have enslaved us for over 400 years and got the whole planet in a death grip, even the whole planet Earth. They want to kill the whole planet Earth. Then our thought should be this. We want to reverse all of that. We want to clean the air, the water, the land, and everything else. We want to eliminate sickness. We want to stop lying, robbing, and stealing, and sinning. You understand what I'm saying? We want to bring cures to the planet. We want to cure all diseases, all cancers, and all these things, bring it back to our planet. You understand? That's masculine to Basir Farad Muhammad. And I'm just going to leave it just like that.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
You know, several things you said sparked my thinking. One about strength. Because men today apply masculinity with the physical might of their attributes. But the highest level of masculinity is all mental.
That's right.
Intellectual. When a man wants to go out and rule and control anything, because the world is ran by ideas, you can tell which man rules the world by whose ideas rules the world, whose systems rules the world. And so with all of these men equating their physical capability with their manhood is why they lost. Because it's your mental capability that represents your manhood. Remember, man is mind, so it's your mindhood. It's the development of your mind and your ability to manage that mind, which gives you your ability to manage every activity at a masterful level, which means that any thought that you have the ability to master it and administer your activities to bring it to life, to get it done, to create a system, to bring order, to bring administration, to bring proper management, right? Then that's a man. He told me his plans and he has the ability to bring that into fruition. That's a man.
That's right.
So it's the reason you see the UFC, they full of fighters, greatest fighters in the world. Dana White can't beat his fighter, but he's the man of that organization.
Facts.
Because he started it. It is his mind that started it. So in the hoods of America, you have boys trying to prove themselves as men by what they can do physically instead of what they can do mentally.
That's right.
Right? Now there's something else that I wanted to get more wisdom and understanding on. Specifically when you say man is of a higher degree than woman, can you clarify what that means for the broader audience?
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said man is a degree higher than woman because man was put here to rule. Period. And she's the second self of man, herself. We all come from that one single cell. You understand? But according to the teaching now,
So the deeds, because the one thing we got, when we talk about this red pill is like these weird brothers on how they qualify their value. This manosphere is supposed to be about this new age of what is masculine thinking, right? This incel, what they call it, involuntary celibate. With these brothers, they can't get a woman to save their life, so they get mad at the woman and they basically they be all on the internet hating them. So I don't want to add to the flame of the suckers because this is a cipher of the God. So I want to qualify. You understand me that when we talking about those degrees, that with all of the protocols, there are qualifiers for any man to qualify based upon what we speaking on to say that okay, this is that degree that he's talking about. Right. You understand me? So, because it's just a lot of weird stuff that's going on nowadays. Right. You understand me? And one person would take one thing and run with it, but that's not for you because you're not even qualified. You understand me? In that intellect. So when I think about degrees higher, I just want it because you connected it to deeds, then you connected it to rulership, right? So it in that higher degree, it's not based upon moral, but is it based upon duty? Which degree is it based upon?
Well, let me put it this way. The life force, without the original man, there would be no black nation, period. Understand? You cannot produce a black nation without the man. And you can flip it around to a degree. You could not produce a black nation without the womb of the divine black woman, but that life force, that life source comes through man. Period. That's just the bottom line. We carry the life force on this planet. And when we ejaculate that sperm into the womb of our woman, that's that life force that's been directed to the womb of our woman. That's why I say, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that man is a degree above the black woman, but he also says this: if you got a good woman, you got 1 foot in heaven. You understand what I'm trying to say? Black man, because in the sperm of the black man, see, we are the problem. The black man is the problem of this whole situation. Because we carry that brown germ in our sperm. This is what this is all about. That has to be killed on the inside of the original man. So when Allah destroyed this devil, this beast on the outside, he will not be able to come back on our planet because we carry him. That is part of our imperfection. That's why we're in this big experiment today with the devil, with the Caucasian, that pale-skinned individual that's on our planet. He come up out of us. You understand? When Yaqub was on that island, they had to kill that brown germ to produce that other-like germ. But we have the life force, brother. This in us. We the whole doggone key. That's why, where does he look for? Where does the white man look for God at? He ain't looking up in the sky. He got the Christian looking in the sky, but I ain't never seen the white preacher personally look up. I see him looking at you and I because he's looking for the Messiah. He's looking for the Mahdi within the black nation. In your Bible, it tells you who we're looking for. That male child. You understand? And there's a reason for that. You understand? Because he knows that God is going to come up out the lions of the original man through the womb of the black woman. That's why he keeps her under control. So she don't have any loyalty to her man anymore in America. She's of this world. You understand what I'm saying? She done bought hook, line, and sinker in this world because he took our ability to provide, protect, and maintain. We ain't providing any damn thing. We damn sure ain't protecting our woman because she getting snatched day and night. We're not providing any morals because we're not the head of our environment anymore. Who's the head? Where's all these morals and values coming out of? The white nation. And our woman jumped right behind that because the black man then abdicated his responsibility. Matter of fact, he was taken out the home, but we really not carrying out God-like responsibility on this planet. That's why you see brothers so confused, depressed, unhappy, because you being other than, that's not your nature. You can feel that, brothers. When you know you being other than yourself, that's why you see a lot of young brothers walking around today, staring into space, talking to themselves, because they outside themselves. If you destroy the man, you done destroyed the whole damn nation. Damn near. Because our woman is gonna follow us if we get on the square. She ain't no problem. She ain't no problem. If we was on our square, taking care of our business, our woman be right there. Because she waiting on the leadership. By her nature, she know she's really not supposed to be out in front of the man. She know this, but she has accepted this based on an environment and condition. But she knows she want a black man. That's why she talk crazy to her sometimes. You understand? You ain't doing nothing. You this, that, and another. Because she want her black man to take charge the way she know he's supposed to be taking charge. And she'll be our helpmate and help us build a righteous planet and world. You understand? Where we can go back into the universe and tap down in them 7 planets that we taught civilization on. Black man God. That's why they said the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. You the God with the power and the force. Just been put in the head, hit in the head and put to sleep. That's it. But now, we're the life source, brothers.
What about this? So the modern, because everything that is happening to her is because of us, right? Because in the description and how it's qualified that if she's disrespected, unprotected, and all those things, it's because we are not protectors and we are not respected, right? So then, secondhand, if I walk in your home and I slap you up, guess what's coming next? Your woman and your child.
That's right.
So the first line of defense has been decimated.
That's right.
Men don't want to be held to any standard of a higher degree.
Right.
The way I interpret that is that our responsibility is of a higher degree because we have to maintain, we have to respond, right? Our ability to respond is our power because that's our responsibility. Some people have a high degree of ability to respond to danger, to threat, to pressure, to anything. And that man knows how to be accountable for his situation at all times, right? What's happening is this flipping because women are having to take a higher degree of responsibility than man because he is no longer being a provider, the protector, the producer, because the black man is not producing anything but arts, right? And we don't even own the arts. Now, we're becoming educators once more, stepping back into that fold. So for me, I interpret that higher degree as we have a higher degree of responsibility. You understand me? Because and when you look at every single organization, from every single leader, whether it's the Black Panthers, whether it's your Black Muslim Bakery, whether it's the Nation of Islam, whether it was Marcus Garvey, right? Whether it's the Moore Science Temple, it was so many women that was comprised of that organization that were helping the movement grow, right? And one thing that I know about history, you understand me, because we learn to tell our stories the way that the oppressor tells his story, right? Because during his time in the last 6,000 years, we learned to tell the story the way the oppressor tells it, which is his story. So we never tell the story in a manner in which we add the woman's contribution. So if she doesn't see herself in our movement, she thinks that that's a man's movement. That was your movement as well. You was building the whole time behind. We just stood out on the front line Because we had a greater degree of responsibility when it comes to who took them bullets, when it comes to who them dogs bit, when it comes to who playing what and what so. So I want men today to step into a higher degree of responsibility and say that no, if the nation is going to change, as you say, if the world is going to change, if 196,940,000 square miles of this planet Earth is to be mine and it's supposed to be my divine natural right, then you have to step back into order in order for her to be able to naturally step back into the place of assistance and nurturing and to be a helpmate.
That's right.
But I think that we are a narcissistic generation that individualizes everything in the world about ourselves and nothing about the collective anymore. So everything is about our individual experience. How can I be seen as the one instead of one of the ones? Right? Because the universe is made of the billions and trillions and the infinite of the ones. And last but not least, we are infinite beings with limitations. Now, what does that mean? Our body is limited, right? But our mind is infinite. So we have learned to measure ourselves by our limitations, our body, our physical matter. We don't even take care of the thing that has these limitations because our body has to go back from whence it came, to the earth. But our mind is of infinite source. And the way you take care of yourself so that you can enjoy a greater quality of life, so that you have a greater ability to respond to any threat or ownership or rulership, is by understanding the relationship between, as my brother talked about, as above, so below. We are multidimensional just in the sense that we have a mind and we have a body. Right? One is physical, one is non-physical. So when you think about your manhood, you have to automatically think of, oh, you can't just be getting your body together, something that's going to get thrown back into the ground. You have to get your mind together, something that gets thrown back into the universe.
That's where you go.
You understand me? And so that greater degree that we talking about, because that woman going to have to every time put her life on the line when she's trying to produce one of these minds that's going to come out into this universe. She will have to do that. My mother produced 10 out her womb. 10. And it almost killed her. It gave her arthritis. It crackled her bones. And that sacrifice, that she made to have us, is something that we could never understand because we would never have to go through that. But the woman gives up her physical body. You understand me? To produce more life into the universe. And the reason that I find myself so effective as a teacher is because of my empathy. I design with empathy so that when I'm educating or I'm teaching, I'm thinking about how other people feel and how they can receive the information, not from my level, but from your level. And when man gets to divine order and rule, he has to become an empathetic man, because otherwise he becomes just like that man that thinks he's the man that rules over us. A predator has no empathy. He sees everybody as prey. He's a beast. When a beast kills, he sees a beast and he doesn't think about it. You are a nigga. Why would I care about your life? If I see you as a brother, I must empathize. If I see a sister, I must empathize. When I see the black woman, I must empathize with all of her needs and desires and things in order for me to take a higher degree. Because that higher degree is saying I must empathize with something I can never go through. Yeah. And then I must protect you and make sure that that sacrifice that you make so that we can continue to be in our responsibility is never forgotten and is always appreciated. So I think if I add another cipher and I'll let my brother Steve go, is one of the things I want to add is appreciation and empathy. You understand me? Because I think as men, we learn the strength, we learn the physical power, but when it comes to the ability to think about how other people feel, we lack that because it requires us to take on the feelings of others, which requires another level of strength.
Yes,
because we haven't dealt with the things that we dealing with inside ourselves, so we don't want to become any level of vulnerable to deal with anybody else's. I don't want to care for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got my own shit that I'm going through. So that lets me know, number one, the level that you reach in your divine masculinity and how you able to heal yourself and clear yourself and say that, man, I'm living in abundance now. I can care for you because I've cared for myself. That to me is the higher degree of responsibility that we take on. And once we do that, we start to see things align. The woman say, man, he cares. She ain't seen us care in a long time. She ain't seen us care about ourselves in a long time.
Yeah.
This man don't care about himself. He got all these thoughts that he never bring out. She tired of dealing with our potential. She said, I want to see somebody that actualizes. So when we lose our woman to somebody else, it's because she sees him as a man and she not seeing us do what men do, which is produce thoughts into reality and build something and produce something and manufacture. So one of the things that I get tired of seeing is our inability to take responsibility.